Shalom everyone. In this video I'm responding to a Christian named Reese who claimed that Bible is not racist. So let's check it out and see what he says.
Israelite slaves must be set free after 7 years, but non-Israelite slaves can be kept forever. Furthermore, it seems as though God is telling the Israelites that they may not treat their slaves, who are fellow Israelites, ruthlessly. But as for the non-Israelite slaves, he mentions nothing at all. Is God promoting racism here? Is he allowing the Israelites to treat their foreign slaves in the same manner that Pharaoh treated them in Egypt? Well, no, and here's why. Leviticus 19. If a stranger dwells with you in your land, you will not mistreat him. The stranger who dwells among you will be to you as one born among you, and you will love him as yourself. For you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. God reminds the Israelites of the extremely cruel slavery that they had to endure while they were in Egypt. And he tells them that it's for this reason that they will not mistreat any foreigner that dwells in their land.
You are such a big fat liar.
This is a lie. So basically he takes Bible verse completely out of context, because if you read Leviticus 19:33, it's actually talking about Gentiles who converted to Judaism. For example, if you read Eliot's commentary, he says the following: "And if a stranger sojourn with thee, the stranger for or whose benefit the legislators enacted so many humane and benign laws, and with regard to whom the book of Leviticus was laid down, so many precepts, is one of non-Jewish origin, but who had joined the Jewish faith. He had therefore to undergo the rite of circumcision. He had to fast on the great day of atonement. He had to submit to the regulation about the sacrifice." So basically, here he's clarifying that this is talking about Gentiles who converted to Judaism. Okay. For example, if you read the Talmud, the rabbis also say the same thing. For example, the Jarma asks, it says in Baba Metzia, the Jarma asks, what is different with regards to verbal mistreatment? 3 prohibitions are written concerning it. "And you shall neither mistreat a convert. And when a convert lives in your land, you shall not mistreat him." Leviticus 19:33. "And you shall not mistreat each man his colleague," and a convert is included in this category of colleague. So here you can clearly see the rabbis, and they're saying this is talking about converts or people who convert to Judaism. And it says, "You shall rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the elders." And the adjacent to this it is stated, "And if a stranger sojourns with you, an elder is one with Torah wisdom, and a stranger is one who converted to Judaism." Read about this in Megillah 17b to 18. Referring to strangers here in the verse, it is actually talking about Jewish converts. So which means that if you're not a Jewish convert, and if you're just a non-Jewish Gentile who has not converted to Judaism, then you can still be enslaved, you can still be tortured, and you can still be killed after 2 days. So no, it doesn't change anything. So it's just like a massive non-sequitur fallacy. His argument doesn't follow from the premise. So his premise is that, it says that, you have to be kind to strangers. But his conclusion is that this means that you have to be kind to everyone. However, it doesn't follow, because when the verse is talking about strangers, it is talking about people who have converted to Judaism, right? It's not talking about everybody. So it's a non sequitur. Or is this a damn fat lie? I don't know which one it is with this guy, but regardless, let's continue.
It's also important to mention that non-Israelites were allowed to own Israelite slaves just as much as Israelites were allowed to own slaves themselves. And if the Israelite slave were to be set free by a family member, God commanded the non-Israelite owner to be appropriately compensated by the family of that Israelite slave for their freedom.
Again, he is lying. The verse clearly says if a Jew wants to sell himself to a non-Jew he can. There is nothing here that says a Gentile can just willy-nilly buy a Jewish slave. What the verse is saying is that, if a Jew becomes poor then he can sell himself. This doesn't mean a Gentile can buy a Jewish slave as he likes. Now the stranger mentioned in the verse also does not refer to everyone, as there is a difference of opinion.
Again, as we discussed, when the Bible refers to strangers, it is referring to strangers or people who have converted, or Gentiles who have converted to Judaism. Okay? Or there is another explanation for this. For example, if you read some of the Talmud or Jewish commentary, you can see there are a few explanations for this. One common explanation is that this is actually referring to people who, although they're not a Jew necessarily, they're still a monotheist, or people who follow the 7 rule of Noah. Now, I don't know what that means. I think it's the 7 commandments of Noah, but I'm not entirely sure what that means. But that's what this is referring to. For example, if you read Ibn Ezra, he says the following: or to the offshoot, Eker, offshoot means root, the reference is to a person who accepted the Jewish religion. He himself is from the family of a stranger. The word Eker has no neighbor. Now, to be fair to him, there are some commentators, some Jewish commentators, who have said that actually this is referring to even pagans, right? Let's say for the sake of our argument that he's correct, okay? But so what? It doesn't make a difference. Even if I say for the sake of argument that, okay, Jewish people can sell themselves to a non-Jewish person. So what? As a Jew, you still cannot buy another Jew for an eternity. Okay, you have to buy him for only 6 or 7 years. However, if you compare that with how long you can own a non-Jewish person, it is for his life. This is still discriminatory. This is still racist. It doesn't matter if a Jew has the right to sell himself to a highest bidder. It doesn't matter. Just because Jews can sell themselves to a non-Jew doesn't mean that Bible is not racist, because it still allows this kind of discriminatory laws against non-Jewish people, where they can be owned for their whole life, where a Jewish person cannot be owned for their whole life. So it's still discriminatory. So it's still racist. It doesn't matter.
In Leviticus 25, God himself refers to his own people as his slaves. For the children of Israel are servants to me. They are my servants, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. That word servants is actually avadim, the plural Hebrew word for slaves. So here's my question. Why would God refer to his own people as his slaves? It's because God redeemed the Israelites out of their oppressive and abusive slavery in Egypt. And because of this, he makes it clear that they now belong to him.
So, I don't get it. I don't get what point is he trying to make? Yeah, so in Christianity, right, the God refers to his people as his slave. Yeah, so what? What does that prove? I guess he's trying to make the point that, but look, slaves, we are also slave of God, just like these people are slaves of another people, right? So it's the same thing, right? No, it's not the same thing. This is a false equivalence, okay? Because when you're slave to God, you cannot be beaten to death, okay? But when you're slave to another people, your holy book allows these other people to beat you to death, okay? Your holy book allows you to abuse your slaves, okay? So they're not the same thing. Inshallah, I'll see you guys next time. Again, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like the video, then don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Support me, then please consider supporting me on Patreon or become a YouTube member. So yeah, inshallah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.